Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 475.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
I thought, why not in this episode, give you 3 different Instagram reels to try this week. And so we're just going to dive in and we're just going to get straight into it. I do want you to write these down because this is literally your Instagram reels plan for the week. And maybe you want to rinse and repeat this in the future. Now, these 3 reels are pieces of content that we have shared with our Social Method Society members. So if you are a woman growing an Instagram audience and wanting to turn followers into customers, what are you even doing if you're part of this community and you're not part of my Social Method Society? This is not just where we come to get a monthly content calendar planned for you every single month, where you get access to me and group coaching with me every single month, and a whole library full of savvy Instagram marketing trainings and materials to save you time and fast track your progress. But it's also where you get to connect with other women from this community and build your businesses together, take big action together, become more confident, more organized, more planned, more consistent together. And I would love to invite you to head on over and put your name down on the wait list, socialmethodsociety.com. And I can send you an invitation to join us in the near future when we open for our next intake. That would be so amazing. All right, so let's dive in, because when it comes to Instagram Reels, most of you are overthinking it. And a lot of you scratch your heads and think that you haven't got anything interesting to share, and you just get all kind of nervous, right? So I'm going to give you 3 ideas to do this week, and I want you to track and measure. I want you to take notice of your reach right now, like say for the past week. What was your Instagram reach like? And then in a week from now, because you're going to post all 3 of these, I want you to go back and check on your results and let me know. You can let me know in the DMs. I'm at Mums with Hustle, no underscores. You can email me, hello@mumswithhustle.com. Come and tell us what you noticed with your reach. Come and tell us about your growth. Maybe it's not just your reach. Look at your engagement. Maybe you're getting more shares, saves, likes, comments, inquiries. We are interested in any and all growth that you see, and I am willing to bet that you're going to see growth this week if you follow the plan. Okay, all right. So the first reel that you're going to do is the pep talk. This is when you're going to call out a limiting belief that your audience may have, or a bit of a myth, or maybe there's some unhelpful behavior that they're demonstrating, and you are going to call them out of it. You're going to get your audience unstuck. You're going to hype them up. You're going to raise their vibe. You're going to get them out of their own way. You're going to pull them out of the funk and the pity party by setting the record straight and raising their vibe. This is not a pep talk where we are shaming. They're already doing that to themselves. You don't need to contribute. But this is a pep talk where we acknowledge either the unhelpful behavior or the myth or the thought pattern or the mindset or the unhelpful habit. And you give them a pep talk that calls them lovingly out of it. Now, this reel can be up to 1 minute long. Okay, now the next one, reel number 2, is the sound with text reel. I'm pretty sure that you would have seen this. And maybe even on TikTok, those of you that are on TikTok, it's very popular there as well. But this is basically where you use a little bit of B-roll video of you in it. Now, it doesn't need to be fancy or very aesthetic. It can be you sitting down on a chair sipping coffee. It can be you making your bed. It can be you typing away at your computer. It's not about the aesthetic. It's just about that B-roll. And then you're going to select some trending audio that fits the vibe. If you're sharing something that is a little bit moody and empathetic and hits you in the feels, then you want to make sure that you're choosing music with a similar vibe. If you're sharing something that is super inspiring, then you want to go for some kind of audio that feels like an energetic match for that. Okay. So we've got our B-roll video, we've got our trending audio, and then you're going to type some text on the screen. And you can start this with a question hook. For example, ever wonder ... Now, what is something that your ideal audience would be wondering? And maybe it causes them a little bit of frustration or grief or anguish. And what you're going to do is you're going to start with that question as the first words on your screen, and then you're going to keep typing beyond that. Ever wonder, you fill in the blank, and then you keep telling the story. You're going to type this. You're not going to say this, and you're going to end up with quite a lot of text on the screen, but that's okay. It's because you want people to have to read what is on the screen, and you also want it to go for 7 seconds, because strategically what this does is people are going to have to watch it a second time so that they can actually read it all. So you're going to put some text on there that is very relatable. I am a huge fan of adding value to our audiences, but through storytelling. So you're going to type some text that starts with a question hook and that utilizes storytelling to add value to your audience. Value, but also empathy. Okay. All right. So that is that one. And then you're going to do reel number three, which is the FaceTime. You know, when you FaceTime a friend, sometimes your whole face isn't even in it, or sometimes, maybe that's just me, or sometimes it's just not the most flattering view. Like maybe you're holding it down a little bit low, or maybe you're walking around, maybe you're sitting down, having a coffee. However you would do a FaceTime is how you're going to hold the phone and record yourself speaking as if you're speaking just to a friend. But this is your ideal customer avatar. And you're not just sitting there talking about nothing. You're going to be teaching them something. So this is going to be something that helps your audience. It can be that you just got off a one-on-one call with a client, and these are the things that they were struggling with, and this is how you helped them. And so this is what they're going to be able to do. It can be teaching them from your own experience, maybe something that didn't go right, or maybe a time that you struggled. But you're going to be showing up with value, teaching your audience, but doing it with a less curated, less polished, less aesthetic way. It's the FaceTime style. So that one can go for up to a few minutes, really. And you don't have to share this as a reel. You can just share this as a post, which then will become a reel. I know that's so confusing, but you can post videos that are quite long on Instagram and just share them as a post, and then they end up in your reels anyway. So that's a little workaround. But they're the 3 reels that I am giving you the challenge of executing on. These are going in our Social Method Society content calendar. You're going to adapt this to your niche. Now, if you don't know your audience and you don't know your niche, then this is just going to be useless to you. You need to go back and do that work first. If you want support with that, that is something that we focus on with our beginners inside of the Social Method Society as well, before they then move on to more complex strategies. You got to make sure that you're building your base, right? So that's what we call our social go-getter. Stage 1 is really getting clear on your audience, your niche, your content pillars, things like that. But if you already know that, you can just get started with this. Just have a go. So let's recap. The first reel for this week is the pep talk. The second one is the sound with text. That's where there's quite a lot of text on the screen and it only goes for 7 seconds. They're going to have to watch it more than once. And then the third one is the FaceTime. Have so much fun with this. Don't overthink it. And make sure that you are tracking and measuring your growth or your insights, because this is where we get the clues from so that we can do more of what's working and less of what's not. This is what the savvy Instagrammers are all doing. All right. Thank you so much. And don't forget to head on over socialmethodsociety.com if you want to get on the wait list for the Social Method Society. And I'm excited to get informed, to get updated from you about the growth and the changes or the insights that you discover from doing these 3 types of reels. Can't wait. All right. See you here next week on the Mums with Hustle podcast.